Today is the auspicious disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada.
Wait, auspicious disappearance? How can disappearance day be auspicious?
Well, when pure devotees appear in the world, no one knows that such an exalted devotee is born. However, when he disappears after exhibiting his extraordinary pastimes within this world, all the people get to know about his glories. Thus, the disappearance of Vaishnavas is celebrated as it marks the recognition of their glory throughout the world. As Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur rightly said, he reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around. Today is the anniversary of the day of separation from Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupada Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada appeared on this planet on Falgun Krishna Panchami Tithi on 6 February 1874 in Purushottam Kshetra Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. From the time of his birth, all 32 bodily symptoms of a Mahapurusha, a great personality, were pointed out by an expert astrologer. The astrologer commented at his birth, "I have done many horoscopes in my life, but I haven't seen any such horoscope filled with all the signs of a great personality. This child will become world famous as a brilliant teacher of life's ultimate goal." When the child was 6 months old, Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra festival was in procession, and the cart stopped in front of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house for 3 days. Following the instructions of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhagavati Devi brought the child before the cart, and an offered garland fell from the neck of the Lord encircling the boy. This was taken as a sign of special favor by all present. The grain ceremony was observed on the cart at this time and was done with Jagannath Prasada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur exhibited all the signs of an exalted, eternal associate of the Lord who had descended in answer to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer for a ray of Vishnu to help him spread the Krishna consciousness movement. From the very beginning, the boy used to hear the preaching of his father with rapt attention. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as well as his audience, were amazed to see how a small boy could hear the topics of Krishna consciousness with such total absorption. By the age of 7, he had committed the entire Bhagavad Gita to memory and could wonderfully explain the verses as well. Later on, he was trained in publishing and proofreading at Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's printing press in connection with the Thakur's well-known spiritual journal, the Sajjanatoshani. Bimala Prasad had an eidetic memory. Whatever he would read once, he would later recall with perfect clarity. He was trained in mathematics and astrology at the Shri Rampur school, and he achieved such astounding scholarship that he was eventually awarded the title Siddhanta Saraswati by his tutors Pandit Mahesh Chandra Churamani and Pandit Sundar Lal. Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to debate everyone he met on all sorts of subjects. No one who argued with him was ever able to defeat him. The Mayavadis and the so-called Vaishnavas who had emerged in the name of Gauḍīya Vaishnavism and Mahaprabhu would shake in terror of getting defeated by Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Stunned, the whole assembly of accomplished Panditas, some of whom were established scriptural authorities, had suddenly been overturned and humiliated by this lower caste upstart. The unnerved Smarta cartel felt compelled to stop the rising influence of pure Vaishnava Dharma as propagated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Sri Siddhanta Saraswati. They challenged that Lord Chaitanya was not an avatar of the Supreme Lord, but according to his own admission a devotee of the Supreme Lord, and that he was not mentioned in the original Vedas, and that the Gaura mantras imparted by Gaudiya Gurus at initiation were not from Shastra but a recent innovation. Because in traditional Vedic culture, everything a person does and says, and especially any philosophy he expounds, must be based and justifiable according to Shastra and the example and precept of the previous acharyas. This fresh assault was even more insidious than any previous one, for it struck at the very substance of Gaudiya ontology. The Smartas were confident that by establishing that Lord Chaitanya was not referred to in Shastra, they would repudiate the authenticity of Gaudiya Vaishnavism and thus continue unimpeded their materialistic version of Vedic Dharma. But in another showdown before the end of 1911 at Boro Akhada, Navadvip, Sri Siddhanta Saraswati upheld the quotation from the Upanishads, Tantra and Puranas, the Vedic conclusion that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unknown to Sri Siddhanta Saraswati, Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji was present in a corner of the gathering and was extremely satisfied to hear his disciple's irrefutable speech. The meeting ended with prolonged applause for Sri Siddhanta Saraswati. Again, the opposition had been silenced. In 1905, at the age of 31, he began his great vow, following the example of Namacharya Haridas Thakur of chanting 3 lakh names per day. He determined that at the rate of 3 lakh names daily, it would take about 9 years to complete 1 billion names. He resided in a grass hut at Yoga Pitha for 4 years, and in February of 1909, he built a cottage near Yoga Pitha at Prajapattana, town of Vraja, on the site of the house of Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya, the uncle of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This place is considered to be non-different from the banks of Radha Kund. There he remained uninterruptedly executing his chanting. He strictly followed his vow and observed Chaturmasya, cooking rice which had been dried in the sun, in ghee, and eating it from the floor in the manner of a cow. He would take rest lying on the ground, never using any pillows, and constantly chant and study the scriptures. Seeing his renunciation, his Gurudev, Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, "I observe that the renunciation of Sri Rupa Raghunath is manifest in my Prabhu." He used to address his disciple as my Prabhu. While commenting on this period, Srila Prabhupada states, from childhood he was a strict brahmachari, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and he underwent very severe penances for starting this movement, worldwide movement. That was his mission. Last address of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. I have upset many persons' minds. Many might have considered me their enemy because I was obliged to speak the plain truth of service and devotion toward the absolute Godhead. I have given them all those troubles only so that they might turn their face towards the personality of Godhead without any desire for gain and with unalloyed devotion. Surely someday they will be able to understand that. Let our bodies, which are like those of aged oxen, be offered into the Sankirtana Yajna of Lord Chaitanya and his associates. We do not aspire to be any kind of heroes of karma or dharma, but our constitutional position and all in all is to, in every birth, to become dust at Sri Rupa Raghunatha's lotus feet. The Bhakti Vinoda Dhara will never stop. With all your energy, devote yourself to fulfilling the desire of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. There are many among you who are well qualified and able workers. We have no other wish whatsoever. Our only motto is Adadana Srinam Dantair Idam Yache Punah Punaha Shrimad Rupa Padambhoja Dhuli Syam Janma Janmani. Taking a blade of grass between my teeth, I fall down and pray again and again to become dust at Srimad Rupa's lotus feet, birth after birth. On January 1, 1937, at just about 5:20, Pranavananda Brahmachari's bedside vigil was completed. He was handing over the fan and oxygen funnel to Krishnananda Brahmachari, when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur aroused and whispered, "Who is there?" "It's me, Pranavananda Prabhupada." Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati uttered, "Oh, Pranavananda Prabhu." Pranavananda then asked, "How are you feeling, Prabhupada?" Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati murmured, Oh, Krishna, Krishna." Hardly had Pranavananda left the room when he was called back by Krishnananda Prabhu. "Pranava, come quickly, it's over." Thus, after 62 years and 10 months of manifesting unflinching devotion to Sri Radhakrishna in this world, Sri Varshabhanavi Daita Dasa rejoined them in the hour of their Nishanta Leela, pre-dawn pastimes of their eternal cycle of daily activities in Vraja at the hour after their nocturnal sports, when they rest in intertwined embrace, becoming as one body and hence giving an indication of Lord Gauranga's appearance. It was 35. All the clocks in the Matha had stopped simultaneously. Their steady ticking was soon replaced by wailing and crying from every corner. Some devotees were sobbing as if their hearts would break, and some were chanting feverishly with eyes flooded with tears. Some swooned, some simply bowed their heads and chanted Harinam, and some were clapping their foreheads and repeatedly calling out, "Oh Prabhupada, oh Prabhupada." Although the sun had just risen, to the disciples present everything seemed black. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada later summarized the divine passing of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came in this world to execute the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he executed it, and when it was required, he left this place and went to another place to do the same business. Jai Jagadguru Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai. Nikhila Bhuvana Maya Chinna Vichhinna Kartri Vibhuda Bahula Mrigya Mukti Mohanta Datri Shithilita Vidhiraga Radhya Radhesha Dhani Vilasaturi Nityam Bhakti Siddhanta Vani.